Hey everybody, you know us, Joe and Mama D, here at the Joe and Mama D channel. So anyway, the other day we had to do a Zoom call with a bunch of my Navy buddies. We have they have a reunion every single year, and in different parts of the country. Next year's reunion is going to be going on a cruise out of Galveston, all right, on Carnival. And that's all we've ever sailed is Carnival. So we've only done two cruises, so this will be our third. But we also found out that a lot of our Navy shipmates never been on cruises, so they have no idea what to expect, how to do it, all the process and everything goes along. So I figured it'd be a good idea, maybe since we've been on a couple of cruises already and we've already made all the mistakes and did all the wrong things, uh, that we would help them along with the process of from start to finish as far as once they're booked, what do you do now? So anybody who's never been on a cruise before, a Carnival cruise, excuse me, let me reiterate that because that's all we know is how Carnival works. So we're going to start off with, you've booked your cruise, you've already talked to your travel agent, whatever, you've already lined up what you're going to get as far as the type of stateroom you're going to get. You've already lined up, paying for the cruise itself and everything like that. So, and you made your deposit. So the next step you want to do right after all that is you want to download the Carnival Hub app. Okay, and basically what that is, up until the time you check in, which is 2 weeks before your cruise leaves, the Hub app really doesn't do anything, but it's a countdown clock. A lot of you have probably seen that on Facebook, people posting these pictures of, 15 days, 32 minutes, whatever, so forth and so on, and that's their countdown clock. So the Hub app doesn't do really much of anything but that, and it does give you a link to go over to the actual Carnival website, where you punch in your cruise number, your booking number and everything, and then it tells you, this is where you go for buying your excursions, buying, everything for anything for your stateroom, all the stuff that goes along with it. But we'll get into that in a little bit. But right now, so you're downloaded the Carnival Hub app. You've used your email that you gave to Carnival when you booked your cruise, and of course a password and all that. And there's your countdown clock. The next thing, let's see. The next thing you want to do is get a passport, right?
Yes, because it takes about 3 to 4 months to get your passport.
Right. At the time of this filming, which is November 23, they're saying it's 3 to 4 months from the process to get your passport. You you'll see a lot of things on different websites and Facebook and everything else for all the cruise news and all that stuff, and everybody who's a cruise person saying yes, you can sail with just your birth certificate and photo ID. It's not recommended though, because God forbid something happens when you're in one of these different ports overseas, whether it's down in the Caribbean or over in the Bahamas or whatever. Anything happens, it's very difficult to get out of there, if you have to fly out with just your birth certificate and ID. Not that it can't be done, just that with a passport, boom, it's done. Yes, it's a little pricey, about $150 to get your passport, but they're good for 10 years. So we've had ours for 3 now, so we've still got 7 years to use it. But it just makes things a whole lot easier, especially at the check-in, the security check-in. When you're going to get ready to get on the ship, they look at your passport, they look at your photo ID, boom, 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 take a picture of you, and you're on your way. It's really fast and easy that way. Um, the next thing is, and I tell people this too, is travel insurance. You'll notice that on the Carnival website, under your booking, if you haven't already bought travel insurance through Carnival, you can purchase it throughout, third-party travel insurance. This is to protect you in case, say your booking is a year and a half out, something comes up, you've already paid the cruise off or whatever, and, life happens and you can't go. Well, this way you get most, if not all, your money back because of the insurance. The insurance is also good if you get hurt on the ship or if you get hurt in a port somewhere. No matter, what happens, the travel insurance is there. It's just like car insurance. Better to have it and, not need it than to need it and not have it. So, these are all suggestions. Nothing of this is mandatory, so just keep that in mind. We give these suggestions because we've experienced it. We know what's good and what's not good, really, I guess. Luggage tag holders. You've probably already seen some of these videos that people do where they just staple them onto their bags. Your check bags and your carry-on bags and whatnot. They're paper tags that you print out, from Carnival. Once you're all booked and done, you can just print these things out. You fold them a certain way, and then they staple them onto your things. To me, it's a paper tag that's stapled to your bag. These things are going to be tossed around and everything else. I'm thinking, that thing could easily get ripped off because it's got your cabin number on it like that, so they know where to send your bags. We recommend buying the Carnival. Now, you have to buy Carnival's plastic tag holders because they're different sizes than some of the others. NCL has their own size, Carnival has theirs, Royal has their own size. So make sure you get Carnival Cruise, plastic tags. You can get them Amazon or eBay.
Amazon for a little or nothing.
Yeah, eBay or something like that. The next thing is for your cabin. Your cabin has only one or two American 120-volt outlets in it. So you're very limited. Now, in this day and age, everybody's got electronics, your phones, your tablets, your laptops, whatever you need to charge up. So, and if you bring a little portable fan with you, you got to be able to plug that up. All these things that you're going to need these outlets for. It's recommended that you get a power strip or a power adapter that you can get on Amazon specifically for cruises. You cannot, and I can't stress this enough because they'll confiscate it, bring a power strip with a surge protector built in. Ships, they don't want those surge protectors. It's something to do with the electronics on the ship or the electricity on the ship. No surge protectors, power strips. You can bring a regular power strip that just says power strip. And then you'll have multiple. But we found one on Amazon and I think Mama D's going to find it, show it to you, that's pretty neat. It's got like I think there's 3 outlets on it, 3 or 4, and then it's got 3 USB ports and a USB-C port on it. Plenty to, for what you would need, and you just plug that into one of the outlets. Okay, here it is. Let me see if I can bring this in close enough to where you guys can see it. All right, and see, I think that thing's like $10 on Amazon. So there you go. Good investment. The walls. You've probably seen this too. The walls are made of, in your cabin,
Metal.
I'm trying to get Mama D a little more involved here. So
Mama's had a rough week.
yeah, it's been a rough time. So anyway, they're made of metal. So all the walls, your door, to your cabin, you get these magnetic hooks. Again, all this stuff, Amazon, eBay, whatever. The best thing you can do is go to Amazon and just search cruise stuff or stuff for cruising, and it'll give you a whole, all this stuff that you can buy. So this way you can hang stuff up on the walls, notes or anything like that. We bring a little whiteboard, not a whiteboard, excuse me, a
erase board.
Dry erase board. It's probably, we got it at Dollar Tree. and I stick it on the wall, and I tell my room steward when he comes in the first day to introduce themselves that there'll be notes on this, for you every day, and then plus, there'll be a tip next to it or something. But anything that we can think of that we might need, extra towels, because you're not going to see them every day. Bedding, whatever your requests might be from your room steward. You can write it on that, and boom, they'll see it and take care of you. Again, the walls being metal, that makes it really convenient. So pretty strong magnets. Again, you're going to see various ones all over the place on Facebook and everything, but check Amazon again. Oh, excuse me. You're going to be issued a sale and sign card. It's a plastic card. It's your room key, but it's also for anything you want to buy on the ship. Okay, you use this card. It's linked to your credit or debit card. When you check in the 2 weeks prior, you're going to have to give Carnival a credit or debit card, or if you're going to put cash on it or whatever, however you want to do it, that sale and sign card will be linked to it. All right, and so basically it's when you go buy a drink, if you don't buy a drink package, when you go to buy a drink, you hand it your card to the bartender, or they take your number and they write, basically billing it to your room. Okay, so we recommend lanyards. Again, all this stuff Amazon, but just tie it around, and the card goes in a little plastic sleeve, and you have it with you at all times. I don't know how many people out there do this, but we sleep with a fan on every night, okay, in our home. And actually, a couple of fans. But sometimes some of these rooms, especially in the summertime, may not cool down to your liking. So if you normally sleep with a fan, you can buy a small portable fan that we bought one from Walmart. It's under their Mainstay brand, which is the cheap brand. But I think it costs us like 10 or 12 bucks, and it's about 10 inches, and it plugs in, and this thing is very powerful. It's very, you put it on high, it will definitely, you point it towards your bed, it'll cool you down. No problem whatsoever. And so we recommend that if if you normally sleep with a fan on, or you need that white noise in the background instead of just, listen to, people coming down the hallways. Think of your cabin as a hotel. Okay, you're going to hear noises going up and down hallways. You're going to hear people moving about, just like you would at any hotel. So if you keep that in mind, like it's a hotel room, that makes things easier. Shampoo and conditioner, they are provided by the ship, on the walls, in the shower. Yeah, in the shower, excuse me. But if you are particular about what you shower with, then you are allowed to bring full-size bottles of your own stuff. It's just like your own soap or whatever you may need, whatever things like that. Now, on five-day cruises and less, the payoff time, where you have to make your final payment if you haven't paid it off along the way after your deposit, is 76 days. I believe 6 days and more, it's 90 days prior to going out, or prior to your cruise day. So just keep that in mind. Again, this information will be, your hub app will let you know, hey, or the Carnival website that you're logged into with your email, your particular one, will have all that information. Hey, you got to pay this off by this date. Check-in date, again, it's 2 weeks prior. Now, the check-in date, whatever that is 2 weeks prior to going on the cruise. It's midnight Eastern Standard Time. So you figure it out wherever you're in the country, whatever time it is, midnight on the East Coast. like where we're at in Texas, we're an hour behind. So for us, it's 11 p.m. The moment it strikes midnight, you can check in. All right, and it's a mad rush for people to check in that are going on that cruise to get the best
Time.
yes
slot.
boarding time. Okay, because the early times, the 10 o'clock, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, whatever, or 9:30 to 10:30, whatever, they go fast. So you've got to be fast on checking in, and before you go to check in, make sure you have your documentation. In other words, your passport with you, your because your passport number is going to have to you're going to have to punch that in. Your credit card, a credit or debit card that you're going to use, have that with you. Have it all ready to go so that you can quickly check in and get the best cruise, boarding time. The other thing is also during that you'll get your muster station. All right, that's picked by Carnival for you, and that'll be on your boarding. Your boarding passes will be able to be printed out after you checked in. So that's when you can print out your boarding pass, which has your muster station, your check-in time, your cabin numbers, all the stuff you're going to need. That piece of paper for each person that's going, they'll have their own. One for me, one for Mama D, and that's what you're going to need to get on board the ship with, along with your passport and ID. And that's what you'll use for the first few hours that you're on board to buy drinks or whatever. They'll look at your boarding pass and it has it goes to your cabin number. So until you get to your room, and that's when you get your sail and sign card. It'll be in a mail slot next to your door. All the sail and sign cards for everybody that's in that cabin, mom, dad, kids, whatever, and everybody gets a sail and sign card, even the little kids. Okay, so keep in mind, and I'm going to reiterate this in a few minutes. Your sail and sign cards are linked to your credit or debit card. All right, so if little Tommy, who's 10 years old, likes to play in the arcade is run off of these sail and sign cards. You want to monitor your account, because I've heard horror stories of people's bills going through the roof because of charges made to the account, and at the end of the cruise, here's your final bill. Wow. Okay, so now between now and the time of your cruise, you can pre-order stuff and have it sent to your cabin. All right. So what we do is we go into the Carnival website and we order a case of water. What else? This time your Wi-Fi package, if you're going to get one, which is there's 3 tiers on that. You'll see that on the website. The social, another plan, and then there's the big one. We only get the social plan because it's the cheapest, and it's also good enough for what we need. It provides you access while you're on the ship to Facebook and Facebook Messenger, which also includes on Facebook Messenger a FaceTime feature, if you know what that is, so that you can call via FaceTime. Most of the time it works. Like she called her dad while we were underway and was able to FaceTime with her dad to see how he was doing, things like that. So it's a good way to check in with people to see what's going on. We actually, when we went to Bermuda back in the end of January, beginning of February, it was so funny because we left, it was like 65 degrees or whatever, and we got on the ship with our friends, and 2 days later we were heading we were getting ready to pull into Key West. So it was a day and a half later. And we're looking at Facebook, all our friends back home are talking about this ice storm here in Texas. And, how bad the roads were getting, and it was, it went a period of 3 or 4 days, so it was pretty funny where, we're in 75, 80 degree weather in the Bahamas, 85, whatever it was. Unfortunately, our family and friends back home were freezing. Yep. So the best part about it all is by the time we got back 8 days later, it was gone. It was 65 again. We just cruise right home, you know. So, stuff like that is it's pretty amusing. Plus, again, you can keep tabs with friends and family through Facebook and say, hey, this is, pictures and stuff like that you can upload. So that's the social plan is good enough for us. If you have to do, why anybody would want to, but if you have to do work, you're going to need the more higher end plans because the internet access is, there is no internet access on the lower plans. So let's see. Excursions. Okay. You're going to see all these different excursions for all the different ports you're going to go to, and you might want to pick out one. You want to ride horses, you want to do this, you want to do that. If you buy your excursions through Carnival, they're, we haven't done any excursions, so we don't know, but they're probably going to be a little more expensive. But it guarantees you that if your excursion at any port runs late for any reason, and it's time to come back to the ship, and you might not make it, because you don't want to be what they call a pier runner. Pier runners are funny. We like to watch pier runners because on YouTube, we haven't actually experienced on the two cruises. Nobody ever was a pier runner on our two cruises. So for the first 6-day one and the 8-day one, all those ports, nobody had to be a pier runner. But pier runners are usually the people who they're out there partying on the beach and everything and lose track of time, and that ship horn is going off. They're getting ready to leave. They're bolting their butts down the pier trying to get to the ship before it leaves. Ships, once they unmoor and they take the lines up and the gangplank, they're leaving. They're not, even if they're 5 feet away from the pier, they got them engines going, and you're standing right there, you're out of luck. Once that gangplank is pulled up, they are not putting it back out for anybody, So don't be a pier runner, Make sure you get back. Again, like I said, you can buy excursions through third parties, which might make it a little cheaper, or for excursions that Carnival does not offer, but there's no guarantee the ship will wait for you.
And always wear a watch.
Yes. Set your watch. If you, bring a watch with you, okay? Because your phone, everybody uses their phone as their watch now. Your phone is going to change time zones. If you go to a different time zone, it's going to change with it, just like it does for daylight savings times or wherever you're traveling to. Your phone automatically changes the time for the time zone you're in. Ship time is whatever time it is at the port that you go out of, your port of departure. Galveston, it's Central Time. Okay, so if you go to, like we did the Bahamas, it changed an hour or two or something like that, whatever it was. Our phones changed. But the ship time is what you go by. It might be 3 o'clock in the Bahamas, but ship time says 4 or 5, whatever it was. So that's what you go by, because that's what you need to know to get back on the ship on time. And again, not being a pier runner. So a lot of people forget that. So I like to wear a watch. I keep my watch set for my local time because we cruise out of Galveston, and I don't have to worry about that. My phone's going to say one thing, but my watch is going to say the ship time at all times. So, the next thing on our list would be the gratuities. Gratuities are tips, okay? And when you purchase your cruise, there's going to be a box that says prepaid gratuities. All right, it's an 18%. Some people call it a tax. It's not a tax. It's money that goes to the crew. If you don't check that box, you're not paying for it right now. You will pay for it at the end. It'll be attached to your end bill, whether you uncheck that box or not. It doesn't matter. People say, well, I'll just tip with cash. That's fine. You can do that all you want on board the ship. Guy brings you a drink and you throw him $3-4 or whatever, that's fine. But you're still paying that gratuity fee at the end of the cruise. You can't dispute it. It's what they charge. It's for the employees. They spread it amongst the employees because these people work for very low wages, from what I understand. I don't know. I don't want to get into that. That's a debate for other people to have. We don't deal with that. So we always check the box, prepaid gratuities, add it into my bill, my total boarding cost right at the beginning. I don't have to worry about it at the end. And yes, we do tip along the way too. Again, you will see on your very first cruise, how well these people take care of you. They are fantastic, from the cleaning staff up to the main dining staff to the bartenders to everybody that works on that ship.
They know your name.
And it blew my mind. The first cruise, this one gentleman served me, some beers, and he knew my name the whole cruise. I didn't see him for a couple days on time, and he would see me out on the Lido. Hey, Joe, or hey, Mr. Dixon, whatever. Hey, how you doing? Great, yeah. Can I get you anything? Of course, yeah. That's their job. Everybody says, well, that's what they're supposed to do. Of course, it's what they're supposed to do, but they do it very, very well. You are treated like royalty, no matter how much you paid for your cruise. So, take care of them, and they'll take care of you. So, and it doesn't mean your service will get less if you're not tipping them or anything like that. It just means, it's the human factor. You want to make sure they're taken care of. That's all. Okay, so now that brings us. Keep in mind too, the drink packages. All right, if one person in the cabin over 21 buys the drink package, you must buy it for all over 21 people in that cabin. So if it's 2 adults, 2 over 21s, and they have a 21 or over child, you're buying 3 drink packages. The reason for that is because, of course, years ago, Carnival caught on to it. People were sharing the drink package, So it's a requirement. There's no way around it other than possibly a medical excuse that you don't, like if Mama D didn't drink alcohol at all for medical reason, she can bring a doctor's note. If I wanted to buy it, I could buy it and her be excused from it. But other than that, it's not happening. You're not going to get around it. Those drink packages are 15, it says unlimited, but it says 15 drinks per day. And I believe it starts at like 7 or 9 o'clock in the morning till midnight. So all throughout the day, 15 drinks. Maybe back in my Navy days I could. Not today. No, a beer and a half and I'm ready to take a nap. Mama D used to say, we don't drink that much. We want to enjoy the cruise itself. We don't want to get hammered. We don't want to get plastered. We don't want to be dealing with a hangover on one of the days that, we're there. So we don't buy the drink package. On a 5-day cruise, that drink package will run for 2 people about $500 to $600. I'm not sure exactly what it is. It's like $60 a day per person, okay, or something to that effect. I'm not certain. Don't quote me on any of that. But the longer the cruise, the more expensive. So if you buy your drinks individually like we do, of course it goes to your sale and sign card, which goes on your credit card. That they're going to say to you, you're going to say, how much is this drink? This foo-foo drink is $11. It's not $11. There's going to be tax and the 18% gratuity added to it. So that $11 drink now costs you like $15 or $16 or maybe more. I don't know. I'm not figuring out the math, but so keep tabs of your account while you're on board. And again, that's where this hub app comes in handy, because as soon as you are on board the ship, that hub app now it's not a countdown clock anymore. Now it's your access to your account, to to anything you need, your fun times, which is, we used to call it in the Navy the plan of the day. Everything, all the activities that are going on, you can look on there and say, hey, they're playing bingo at this time of night, or whatever. All the stuff that's going on, that fun app then, or the hub app then becomes your fun app. So anyway, so yeah, keep that in mind as you're buying these drinks. you know, and you're having a good time in the piano bar, and all of a sudden you're feeling so great, you're like, I'm going to buy a round for everybody. Big mistake, you know. So watch that carefully. Uh, I'm not paying attention there. Is she shaking her head over here, or what's she doing? She's making faces or something. I don't know. I'm reading my notes here, so. Mom, are you making fun of me?
You'll never know.
Oh, no.
You go back
Yeah,
and
I will
watch
until I watch the
video again.
Okay, so okay, now we're up to the day before your cruise. For guys, this is the day you pack. For ladies, that happened 2 weeks prior to the cruise. No, I'm kidding, but you know it does seem to be that way. Mama D, all of a sudden, she wants to start packing like a week before.
I do not.
The heck you don't.
I don't. He lies a lot too.
So anyway, packing. You're going to do this, no matter how many times I tell you this. We did it. Everybody does it. You're going to overpack. Why? Because you think to yourself, I need to take this. I need to take that. Somebody grab the blender from the kitchen. You know, all right. Now, you don't need to take as much as you think you do. You know, so keep that in mind. Try not to overpack. You'll figure out after your first cruise, you'll figure out, hey, I really didn't need to bring this or that or the blender or the, you know, the smoothie maker or whatever, you know. So just keep that in mind. Try to keep your packing limited as much as you can. Luggage tags, again, these are already you've already printed these out. They're already in the little tag holders attached to your luggage. You want to put one on every bag, also on your carry-on or your roller bag, whatever, and your backpacks. You don't necessarily have to because, hey, I'm going to have my backpack with me. Just in case you set it down and you leave it somewhere, you're, you know, at a bar or whatever, somebody knows where it's supposed to go, okay? Because it's going to have your room number on it, you know, and your name. So, you know, recommend you get luggage tag holders for all your bags. This is very important because there are websites out there and Facebook pages, or not Facebook, excuse me, YouTube pages or YouTube channels specifically designed for, there's an entire industry out there for this. How to smuggle booze onto a ship, onto a cruise ship. Yes, the booze is very expensive, okay, on a cruise ship. I'm not going to lie to you about that. Your drinks are very expensive, a lot more than you'll pay at any bar here on land. So people will try to be creative. Don't. I can tell you right now, firsthand, these people, not because we tried to smuggle booze, but because of what we saw. In the security, just the security alone, where you've already given your bags to the check bag guy, and you're going through security with your backpacks and your roller bag, they're going to check everything they scan, just like an airport. Everything's scanned, everything's done, x-rays and body scan, you know, checking for metal and all that stuff. But the next thing is you go over to this table, and there's a couple people standing there, and they're very nice people. Very, very, very nice people. But they're chit-chatting with you, and they're going through your bags to looking for, like, you know, what do you call those little bottles? Booze. There's names for them. I forget what it is. Anyway, just little bottles of booze. Anything you can have, any kind of booze you can have in there. They also check your wine bottles. You are allowed one bottle of wine, 750 milliliters or less, per adult. So with two people, you can bring 2 bottles of wine with you. That's all right. But again, I've seen the videos where people say, "Hey, this is how you get rid of get rid of the wine and fill it up with hard liquor." All right. So you can't tell, you know, bull crap. They took our wine bottles and took the plastic wrap off the top, looked at the cork, shook the bottles, checking for bubbles, checking for whatever it is they're looking for to see how it would indicate that it's hard liquor. You know, they're checking to see if that cork's been removed. They're checking to see if this cap, you know, this saran crap. Sorry, I apologize. This heat shrinks cap has been taken off. they're looking for whatever it is that would indicate that this thing's been tampered with. They'll put it back on, and then you're on your way. They also open up, what do? They open up the
12 packs.
the
of
12-pack
Cokes, of
sodas that you're allowed to bring too. Again, one 12-pack per person of whatever soda you like. Coke, Pepsi, whatever.
Sodas, not beer.
Yes, not beer. No alcohol. The only alcohol you're allowed, like I said, is the wine. That's it. So they open them up to look inside to see if you've tampered with this and put something in there that's not supposed to be in there. If you do that, they can, not that they will, but they can refuse you to board. Okay? Same goes with your check bags. People say, I'll just put it in my check bag. Those things are x-rayed too. They, randomly go through those bags, and they will look for, if they think there's booze in there, in any kind of container, and this is where that industry I was telling you about comes in. People say, oh, they're going to fake, bottle or fake shampoo bottles and stuff like that. They know what they're doing, So, you may get a slap on the wrist, but it will be confiscated. You will never get it back. It's not like, oh, we'll give it back to you in the cruise. No, it's destroyed. It's gone. So you don't want to take that chance. You really don't. If you do, hey, good on you. If you've done it before and it worked for you, hey, congratulations. The odds are against you at some point. Okay, now we're up to cruise day. You're getting ready. You're getting on board. You're going through security. You've done all that stuff. You're walking onto the ship. The very first thing, as you're walking on the ship, or even in the security area waiting to go on the ship, turn your phone to airplane mode. I can't stress that enough. Airplane mode. Because if you don't, wherever you're going, your phone is racking up a bill. Okay? It's going to get you for the roaming charges or whatever it is your carrier is going to hit you with. And I've heard of people getting $500 phone bills at the end of their cruises, after they've gotten home and, their next phone bill drops and it's like, oh crap, we're getting hit with all these roaming charges, So airplane mode. You will be able to use the Wi-Fi, link to the ship's Wi-Fi while it's on airplane mode. This way you can have your Wi-Fi package work and whatever, your Carnival Hub app and all that stuff work on the ship. You just can't make phone calls. The other fun thing is when you get back, as soon as we pull into Galveston or whatever port you're pulling into, that's when you can turn your airplane mode off. Most people do it while they're waiting to disembark. They turn it on and all of a sudden, your phone is going off like crazy. All your emails, all your text messages, they're just, that we're gone for the, we're not going into your phone, and now they're showing up. So, that's always fun. We like to leave a phone number, an emergency phone number with our family, especially, her dad and my dad, elderly. Sorry, Dad, I didn't mean to call you elderly, both dads, but, so that if they have to get a hold of us or any family member has to get a hold of somebody on the ship, there's an emergency phone number they call for Carnival, and then Carnival gets a hold of the ship and notifies you. It's not something you want to hear, while you're on vacation, but it's there. Airplane mode. Okay, so that's done. The next thing you want to do the moment you step on board is go to your muster station. Okay, whatever that muster station is on your boarding pass, find that, ask somebody, they'll tell you, hey, it's over here, that's where you want to go. Get that done and out of the way. The reason I say that is because, as per maritime law, Coast Guards, the ship cannot leave port until everybody who's on board has checked in to their muster station for their muster briefing. It takes about 5 minutes now. It's not the way it was before COVID. Muster is very easy, very fast. You go to that place, they scan the bottom of your boarding pass, it has your barcode, they scan that, you walk in, you listen to a guy tell you how to put a life jacket on. It takes about 5 minutes. That's it, you're done. Now you can go to the Lido deck and start your party, okay? But people tend to head straight there and forget about the muster station, and then you're hearing the announcements about 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Hey, we have like 500 people haven't checked into muster. You need to get there, and then they start going counting down, and because the ship cannot leave, so everybody's got to check into their muster station. You do it immediately, and you're done. Faster to the fun. That's a debatable item, okay? Some people swear by it. Other people say, I don't need it. You know, the reason for that is because faster to the fun, you have to pay an extra charge for that. For this 5-day cruise we got coming up next year, it's going to be $100, but $99.95 for the cabin. That's for everybody in the cabin. What that gets you is priority boarding. You know, you are then treated as if you are a Diamond Club member or Diamond or Platinum member, and you get that priority boarding. You have priority customer service, priority disembarkation. You know, there's certain perks to it. Your luggage gets sent to your room almost right away. You cannot go in. You can go into your room prior to the 1:30 time, but you can. It's only so you can drop off your stuff and get out of there. They're still cleaning the rooms. You have to remember, when the ship pulls in, people are coming off and people are going on. So it's a turnaround, and they have to clean these rooms in between that time. So most people can't get into your room, no matter even with the faster to fun. You can't get to your room until 1:30. So, you know, we were able to get to our room the first couple of times a little before 1, and you know that's when our room steward met us and all that stuff. So just keep that in mind, and that's the purpose behind the backpack too. Is you're going to have like maybe a change of clothes in there, medication. Anybody who's on medication, you have to have it with you in case your check bags don't get there until later that afternoon or evening. You know, you want to have that stuff with you. Anything you may need, charging cords, whatever you can think of to put in your backpack that you're going to need from the time you check, you know, time you get on board until you can get into your room. Once you're in your room, I thought she was going to talk.
No.
Anyway, what am I looking? Okay, we'll be back. Okay, I know it seems like we never left, but we're back now. Anyway, to pick up where we left off, you're in your room, you're unpacking, and just to let you know, space is limited, but there is actually more space than you think there is as far as closet space and stuff like that in all the rooms. Even the interior rooms are they're somewhat spacious, but you know, under your bed, there's plenty of room to put your luggage after you empty it. Slide it under the bed. It's out of the way. It's not sitting in a corner or something. So just keep that in mind. You have space under the bed to be able to put stuff. The pools on these ships, we found this out accidentally because nobody told us, but the pools, the whirlpools, the actual Lido deck pool, it's salt water. So keep that in mind. I mean, most people when they see these crystal clear pools, they're like, "Oh, it's beautiful water." You get in, and you think you're going to think chlorine. You're going to think, you know, a regular pool at your home. It's not. It's saltwater pools, which actually is very refreshing. So believe it or not, and they have around the pools rinse-off stations that are fresh water to rinse yourself off, you know, to get the salt off of you. So just remember that. Also in your room are these. They leave you towels, these pool or beach towels, excuse me. You can take them to the Lido deck. You can get to the pools. You can take them off the ship if you go to a beach location, but do not lose them. Make sure you keep a hold of them because if you lose it, they'll charge you, and I think they're like $25 a piece. So, and don't quote me again. Prices may have changed by now, but you know, so make sure if you bring or if you use their pool towels in your room that you make sure you bring them back and don't forget them anywhere, especially in the Bahamas or somewhere or something like that. Um, Smokers. We are no longer smokers. I haven't been for 14 years. But those of you who do, no judgment. There are designated smoking areas on the ship. Do not, again, do not smoke anywhere other than where you're allowed to. There's a smoking casino. You're allowed to smoke in there. There are designated areas of the ship that you're allowed to smoke on certain decks and certain places, but do not smoke in your cabin. If you have a balcony, do not smoke on your balcony. There are cameras everywhere. Keep that in mind. Cameras everywhere. So be careful with how, if you are a smoker, with what you do. There's that habit of flick the cigarette butt and, like overboard. No, no, no. No. They have and they will, at the next port, kick your butt off of the ship. That is a big no-no. They do not tolerate that. Again, you might get away with it, but why take that chance? So, again, smoke in designated areas only, and not in your cabin and not on your balcony. In the room, there is a hairdryer. Everybody asks this question, is there a hairdryer in the room? It's a very small motel hairdryer for you ladies and some guys. If you require a more powerful one, bring one with you. It's not.
And you can bring your flat iron too.
Oh yeah, Mama D, her hair's very frizzy when it's not done. So yes, flat. Yeah, that's why she's wearing that. But she uses a flat iron. You can bring that too. So basically anything men and ladies need to gussy themselves up, you can bring with you. Again, at any point in time, you can request extra blankets, pillows, whatever, towels from your room steward. They'll be happy to get them for you. We usually like to tell them to keep our ice bucket, because it's like it's a hotel. They have an ice bucket sitting there. We ask them to keep that filled for us every day to keep drinks cold and whatnot. Or just to have ice to put in, your water and stuff. There is a small, two things. There's a small refrigerator in your room. It's more like a cooler. It's behind one of the cabinet doors on the lower cabinets. You open that up, make sure it's turned on. If you put a towel on the top of the cabinet door, and leave it propped open a little bit, it helps let that thing cool down easier. Being trapped inside that, I'm an appliance repairman, so I know these things. You keep that thing, it's trapped inside that cabinet. If you keep the door closed, it's not cooled down as well as you'd like. So if you leave that door propped open a little bit, not the refrigerator door, but the cabinet door, then whatever you put in there is going to get nice and cold and stay cold. Even medications and things like that have to be cooled. There's a safe in there also. Again, just like a hotel, you program it to whatever code you want, and for your valuables or whatnot. Casinos. For you casino people who love casinos. Who doesn't like a casino? Me. I don't like a casino either.
I do.
Oh, yeah. You know why she likes a casino? Because she's good at it. I'm not. I can't win if they, said, hey, free money. I can't win it. So, anyway. Casinos, you can use your sale and sign card to charge it to your bets to your room. Not recommended. You can use cash there. But you put your card in just like any slot machine. You put the card in, and it will add points to your. You build up points for special offers. If you're a big casino person, the Carnival or any of the ships, any of the cruise lines love you guys. They will send you free cruises. They'll send you big discounts. They want you back on board. So, put your card in just for it to register as being there. Use cash to bet with. Again, recommended. Don't have to. It's just what we recommend. Again, it all comes down to keeping an eye on that sail and sign card in your account. Monitor it closely. You can dispute any charges you don't think you made at customer service up to the point of the last day of the cruise. After that, once you're off, you can't dispute anything. You're done. So, you look at that account and you realize, hey, I got an extra $500 charged to my account. Once you're off the ship, that's it. So make sure you monitor it closely. Now, I think we've got pretty much everything covered. On the Joe and Mama D page or channel, you can scroll through and find our 2 cruises on there and see what we did, where we went, and things like that. So that may help to answer any questions. We also have a video of, after our first cruise, we came back and made a video of our mistakes we made. So you can look that one up. There are lots and lots of YouTube channels out there that will tell you all about cruising and different ships and everything else. So go to those and look them up. If you go to our page, which you're at now, don't forget to like and subscribe. Please subscribe. We're trying to spread the word and do all the good things for fellow travelers out there. One last note. Beware the upside down pineapple. Okay. The upside down pineapple, if you do not know about this,
Google it.
Google it. It means something. Okay? I'm not going to tell you what. Just Google it. Again, no judgment. All right? Until then, thank you for watching. I know this was a long one. I apologize for that, but we try to get as much information out there as possible. If you have any questions about this video or any of our other videos, please comment. I personally answer all the comments or questions that people ask. So until we get, as big as those big guys, But anyway, yes, feel free to hit us up, and if you want to email us, the email address is letitgostudios@gmail.com. That'll be in the description below. And thank you for watching.
Bye.
Mama D didn't have a whole lot to say this time, but
No.
maybe next time. Anyway, until then, here's Motor Mouth saying have a great day, everybody. I'm going to have to turn it off this way.